Welcome in to another episode of Off Script. My name is Zak Herbstreit, and let's talk Oklahoma football today. Let's just get right into it. But before we get into it today, if you enjoy the channel, if you enjoy college football, make sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel as well. We talk college football year-round, so why not just hit the subscribe button? It's free, doesn't cost anything. Just get after it. It helps me out a lot. It's the growth of the overall channel, so I appreciate you guys. But let's get right into it here. I did a video probably all the way back in January, February, talking about I would be optimistic about this Oklahoma team if I saw this going into spring and going into the fall. I would be optimistic about this team if I saw this. And those two things were improvement from John Mateer, which I feel like we've seen. We saw him throw at pro day. We've seen him at spring practice. You know, the throwing mechanics look better. The footwork looks better. Overall, I think he just the injury's not bothering him. The hand injury's not bothering him as much. So that's optimistic to me. I'm like, all right, he's got confidence. He's feeling good about himself. That's kind of a check mark for me. And then the other thing here was the ability to run the football. So let's get into that a little bit more today. I know that's a lot of people's kind of hot topic or question mark going into this Oklahoma team. Like, are we going to be able to run the football? Well, we'll talk about that today. But let's talk offensive line today. And specifically, I want to hear from Marion Harris. And shout out the guys at Sooner Scoop for this clip, these kinds of clips. They absolutely do a phenomenal job over there. So shout out to those guys. But let's roll the clip.
They just bring a lot of great energy. We compete every day to get each other better. So that's just like an O-line I want to play for. Everybody, they all like to compete. That's what I love. That's the room I want to play for. I want to be in a room that just love to compete. They just go out there. When we cross the white lines, we throw everything out the window. It's strictly ball. We tell each other every day, like, all right, today don't get beat in a pass rush. Like we just try to keep it competitive in between each other because, you know, that's just how you go get better, just being competitive with your brothers. Because, I mean, you being competitive with your brothers, your brother don't want to see you win. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, they do, but at the same time, your brother want to beat you at the end of the day. It's been a big emphasis. We talk about it every day. That's just our number one goal is just to pound the ball. We want to be able to. We want the team to rely on us to be able to, all right, we got these 5 guys that can just go run the ball. Let's go put it on their back and go win the game.
And that's some absolutely great stuff there. Again, I appreciate the guys at Sooner Scoop for getting that. So what are the key takeaways? Well, first things first, number one goal is to pound the ball. And hearing that from offensive linemen, that's very encouraging, you know? Because last year, it almost feels like the mindset is completely flipped because they understand, hey, last year was not our standard, you know? We know what it takes to run the ball in the SEC, and that was not it last year. So they understand there needs to be improvements, and I feel like they're holding each other accountable. They're very competitive in the room. They're like, hey, we're not letting up sacks today. And if you do, you know, like they're just, you know, competing in the room. Hey, I didn't let up a sack. Oh, you let up a sack? I beat you, like that kind of deal. So I love to see the competitive nature in there, and it kind of breeds life to one another in that room. So that right there, that breeds optimism in my eyes. So I'm like, well, look out. Do we have a different mindset in this offensive line room? Like, are we going to be able to run the ball? And then looking at these practice clips, I'm honestly have a little bit of mixed feelings. And I want to call a spade here. Springtime for me, I feel like is the time for development. It's the time for honing your skills. It's time for like, hey, you know, in the fall, I can't really use this technique because I don't really know how to use it yet. I'm just going to stick to my guns. So when you're in the spring, like, hey, maybe I should, you know, overemphasize of throwing my hands on the inside, you know, and not get a holding call or something like that. So for me, especially in the O-line room, this is the time to overemphasize certain techniques, overemphasizing your first step, making sure you don't false step because I'm seeing false steps on some of these practice clips. Overemphasize pad level, getting low, overemphasize throwing your hands because when you overemphasize that stuff, then it becomes muscle memory. And I think, you know, it's going to feel silly. It's going to look silly, but then you're like, okay, well, in the game, then you're, you know, it's second nature to yourself. So that's probably the biggest thing for me, just understanding what to do, why to do it, how to do it now in spring. So in the fall, you don't even have to think. So overall, I feel like this seems like a really physical group from the clips I've seen. They want to go out there. They care. So that is a little bit of a night and day difference for me from what I saw last year, where they kind of looked a little lackadaisical, to now they understand, like, hey, last year, that was on us. Like, we were kind of the reason we couldn't operate. So we're going to be accountable. We're going to hold ourselves accountable. We're going to be leaders on the entire offense, and we're going to get this Oklahoma team, this Oklahoma offense running smoothly again. As for this Oklahoma team as a whole, I would say they're extremely blessed right now because they know their biggest issue. And if they can fix that, then watch out, college football world, because I feel like a lot of teams out there right now know they have issues all across their team, and they can't really identify it. And Oklahoma's in a position where they're like, hey, we have a stellar quarterback, pretty good receivers. Our defense is the reason why we were winning games last year. Just our run game, we just cannot get our run game going, especially that was just last year. So if you can hone in on that, if you can improve that and keep everything else up to par, watch out for this Oklahoma team, in my opinion. And I know a lot of people out there don't agree with me. Currently sitting at 7.5 win total on sports books right now, which I feel like is extremely disrespectful as a playoff team last year. And I understand their schedule's hard, and especially with their first couple games coming up too. First 5 games, I know they play Michigan, Georgia, and Texas. So if you can just hone in on that running game and really improve that from the get-go, I'm really optimistic about this Oklahoma team, and I've seen it in spring. The mindset change is where I'm like, yes, I'm liking this from Oklahoma. I really am liking this from Oklahoma, and I like it from John Mateer too. So that tandem there, if they can get the running game going with John Mateer and the running backs, I know they got a pretty solid depth at the running back position. So if we can just kind of get it going, I'm really optimistic about this Oklahoma team heading into the 2026 season. But Oklahoma fans, I want to hear from you. Obviously, spring games in a few days, so have that to look forward to. But I want to hear your bold takes, your thoughts on this team going into the 2026 season. Like I said, my name's Zak Herbstreit. This is Off Script. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video. I'll see you guys soon.